Join me on the Isle of Arran, Scotland, as we go in search of a unique hidden gem, the Eas Mor Library, commonly referred to as the Library in the Woods. Along the way we get a sight of an 103-foot waterfall. Everything doesn't go exactly to plan as we explore the remote and peaceful hill loch of Loch Garbad, which is surrounded by a forest. Good morning. I'm on the Isle of Arran in Scotland, and I've just parked up. There's a cafe, and the plan today is to do a circular walk, taking in some of hidden Scotland and some waterfalls, and hopefully a couple of giants' graves. The walk should be about 7 miles, so we'll see what we discover on our little explore. So we're just making this climb up. See the views opening out to sea behind us. Been a bit of rain this morning, but can see some blue sky ahead. So just getting some views of Ireland out to just out off the coast of the Isle of Arran. And you can see a little lighthouse as well down below there. The island is House of Craig, and the lighthouse is Pladder Lighthouse on Pladder Island. So I've just come off the path a little, you get a better view of that island out there, and I can see that lighthouse. Can hear a waterfall, but with all the vegetation, not getting any views of it as yet. See the waterfall through the trees. Barely, probably can't pick it up on the GoPro. It's a nice pleasant walk. A few fallen trees. One going straight across the path. A bed of duck here. Oh, there you go. Bow your head. Bow your heads, for you are into sacred and magical lands. There you go, have it. So I guess here we are going up to the viewpoint of the Eas Mor Waterfall. Not a bad waterfall, is it? A lot of fallen trees on this route. Guess the wind whips in pretty bad round here. It's quite breezy at the minute. See if we can get some better views of the falls, and we'll make our way to a piece of hidden Scotland, the library. So I believe you're going up to a piece of hidden Scotland, which is a library in the woods. There's plenty of grass and stuff growing on top. Lots of people leaving little mementos. Happy birthday, Big Sis, 70th, loved. Our walk in the fairy forests, may all your wishes come true. March 2024, wee sis Liz. Huh. If the whole world was blind and your vibration was the only thing people could feel, how many people would you impress? Gem's Adventure. To my mum, Susan Reynolds, we love and miss you so much, but we know you are with us every day. We are so proud to call you our mother, wife, nan, sister and great-grandmother. Love from all the family, Susan. Just want to see if we can get another view of the Eas Mor Falls. Take a few photos first. Just going to leave the library behind. A few midges in there as well, so I can feel them crawling around a little bit. Got some midge spray in my bag. I haven't put any on yet. We'll go and see if we can get some better views of the Eas Mor Falls. It's not looking very likely, to be honest. At least the sun's out. So back on the path we come off to go to the library and on the way to Loch Garbad. Can feel some spots of rain. The rain clouds are moving in over where we're headed. Not good. Hopefully, fingers crossed it holds off. So it would appear as though we're on the right track. Not that you could go off the right track because there's only one track that I've seen. It's like we're going to go up the hill there between the trees. Looks like we have some stepping stones to go across on an old tree stump. Doesn't look too bad. Oh, although the tree stump isn't very steady, I got across without any mishaps. I've just come onto a nice wide track. It's like cars can get up here or logging trucks. Private fishing this way. I assume that's it, Loch Garbad. We're now going to turn off this main track, follow the arrows up the hill, up between those trees I mentioned earlier. As you can see, it's a bit of a tree wasteland around here. I always get asked on the comments in my videos, where are all the trees? Well, this is one example of where the trees are. They get knocked down. Very few trees, especially in England, in the Lake District. Wow. It's like the wind caught a lot of them, especially up on that ridge there. Just about to make our way into the gap in that trees I showed you earlier from down below. So make our way over to Loch Garbad. There's a bit of drizzle in the air. You can probably see the drizzle obscuring the view behind me a little bit. Hopefully it scoots by me. Another fallen tree. It's kind of going across our pathway a little. But you can see the loch ahead, Loch Garbad. I assume this is where they do the fishing. Anglers, be aware, loch deepens very suddenly. Here we are, Loch Garbad. Need a permit to fish here. Looks as though I need to find a little path to get across. Looks like there's some stepping stones here to get across. See if I can get across, jump across maybe to a better point. Not really. Looks like those stones are the best way across. So I got across without any mishaps. Let's make our way up the track. It's a little bit boggy, so I am certainly glad I put my hiking boots on. You can probably hear the squelchy ground underneath. It's a bit drier as we get a bit higher. Just get some good views of the loch as we make our way around it. Very peaceful, very hermit friendly. This walk so far, I've not seen many people on it. Certainly not in this area where the path is a little indistinct and rather boggy. I assume this is going to be the case while I make my way around the loch. Let's probably pick perhaps a proper path up when we get into the trees over there in the opposite corner. Yeah, I'm very glad I put my hiking boots on. It is really wet underfoot. To make our way along this rather indistinct path from over where people have walked. So just made my way over a super boggy bit there. I thought I'd lost the path for a split second, but I picked it up again. So make our way, still making my way around this around Loch Garbad. So I'm almost at the other side of the loch. I'm almost wishing I had not actually bothered. I'm up in the ground. Gets a lot better soon. So it's into a particularly boggy spot just back there. So not good. For the minute it's a little better. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse than this. I'll be happy enough. So I decided to go into the woods a little bit where it's a little less boggy. Just scooting the path. Best make sure I'm still kind of on that path. Yeah, this path. So we've left Loch Garbad behind. Hopefully still got my fingers crossed that we're losing the boggy ground. I decided I'm turning back. The bogs were getting worse, so I didn't fancy falling knee deep into something. So at least I know what I'm up against on the way back, which isn't great, but at least I know I can get back. So I'm quite damp now as we make our way. We're back at the loch, which is quite a welcome sight. I suppose I should be thankful it isn't raining. But I suppose this is some views of the loch that many people won't get. I mean, there is a path, but with all the rain it's put down over the last few days, I guess it's a lot more boggy than usual. Oh, may as well get the views of the loch while I'm going around, and got myself sort of caught up in bogs. At least I'm past the worst of the bog back now. The sun's come out, so hopefully just need to get back over to that bit over there and I'm sorted. So I'm almost back now, almost back on dry ground. So finally back on dry ground. That certainly wasn't the best decision I ever made, going around the loch. I was very boggy indeed, but I think it was a super decision to turn back and make his way back to the way we come. So at least we're getting those smashing views on the way back. It's a bit clearer than when I walked up a bit earlier, so it's not all bad, is it? Oh, at least it's nice and warm and dry. That's an adventure. I like my little adventures, although I didn't really like that adventure, I must admit. It was a bit, how am I going to get out of this one, mate? But I did. I usually do. It's usually crags, going over crags that get me. Coming back to where the turn off for the library is. So we're not too far from the car park now. So I'm just taking the other path to the one I take on the way up. See what we can see on the way here. A freedom bar. That's what that's all about. Now, there wasn't any beer for sale, although I'm driving, so I wouldn't have been able to have any anyway. So I'm dropping down to the car park after that little adventure through the bogs. There was supposed to be a path through where I got onto really boggy ground, but with all the bad weather, it was a good idea to turn back. I'll drive over to Whiting Bay and now try and pick up the other end of the path to see the other waterfall and the giant's graves. A bit of a waterfall, the lower falls. As we cross the bridge, see the lower falls on the roadside just ahead. Hopefully that horseshoe brings me a bit of luck. Could do a bit of luck. Not much this week. Bit of a pond. near the cafe at the car park. So we are coming back into the car park area and the finish of this part of the walk. Join me next time on part 2 of the walk as I now drive over to Whiting Bay to then explore the Glenishdale Falls and the Giant's Graves.